Well, Ben, thanks for being with us today as we talk about what we do activity-wise after a total joint arthroplasty. Anything from this talk that you found interesting, or maybe share with your patients as you go forward and see them in your clinics?
Spine was a lot of fear-based restriction after surgery. We were able to lean in confidently that the hardware is solid after a fusion. Restrict your activities based upon how your body is healing. I just thought of that today as you're talking about the hardware. Typically, the hardware is solid in a total knee or a total hip. That's not the failure part. The most important part is how to manage the swelling, how to manage the healing status of the joint. And in terms of restriction, really working to remove a lot of those fear concepts that, oh no, I'm going to hurt it. Oh no, this is going to be bad. And that was kind of the primary thought I had today after your presentation.
As we talked about, I talked a little bit about the pendulum shift that happens, that we used to just have everyone sit in the hospital and lay up for 3 weeks, to now really getting them pushing and moving and kind of what some would call grinding physical therapy. How do you find that balance well as a physical therapist to push them but also manage their swelling? And how do you find that fine line? Because it seems like that's a tightrope that we walk in the recovery process.
And every patient's a little different. You have the ones that are, going too fast, and they're doing all these motions or activities that are trying to avoid the joint, and it's causing other problems down the road. And then you have those who are very avoidant of any pain. And I really focus in on, this is your joint, this is your body, and you need to listen to it and have them really focus in on the swelling, focus in on what is happening to the joint. And I think that helps guide them a little bit more than versus arbitrary, this is what you can do, this is what you can do. Let's see what it can do. Let's see what your body can do, and allow it to do the natural healing process.
Yeah, a little bit more patient specific, like we talked about. I think that was a big revelation as I was preparing this talk. Really understanding that, I think we may be creating a lot of the harm that patients get for two different ways, two ends of that spectrum. One, we may push them a little bit too hard. Wow, you have no pain? Then let's do this, this, and this. And maybe we cause some of the swelling issues because we think we can push them a little bit faster than they should, or the exact opposite. We also go, no, you shouldn't be doing that. You're doing a little bit too much, or no, you can't go back and run after a total joint. I'm guilty of saying that. With that, I've kind of stepped back to look at my approach to each patient differently, like you just talked about. How do you manage that fine line of balance between pushing them too hard and having them swelling and having them take a big step back, but also encouraging them and coaching them, hey, that's okay, you can push past X, Y, or Z in order to get the results that you want?
I think with some you have to lean in on what happened. You have some that are like, I'm going back to work after 2 weeks, and the education is key. No, this is a total joint. This is a tough surgery, and you do need to have some respect for it. Then you have those on the other side that are just laying in bed, not doing anything. And so I think the idea of really helping them dial into finding what activity is appropriate and how it feels and how it's moving, and then taking steps forward and then staging it. That first 3 months, it really is an up and down battle. I mean, you'll have, and we're fortunate we get to meet with them, two times a week sometimes, and so we're a little closer to what's happening, and we can say, okay, let's review how we did last time. Okay, let's take what we did and learn from it and move it forward, and we take incremental steps and really find the pathway for them, for their knee. Every knee is different, as you know. Every healing, every stiffness, every pain is different. So
one of the things that we talked about is that patient activity doesn't necessarily improve or increase after a total joint replacement. Meaning, the joke I made is, well, can I play the violin after? Well, could you play it before, right? Just because they had a joint replacement doesn't magically make them 25 again and start doing stuff they hadn't done in 20, 30 years. And so with that, a lot of times we'll try to talk about prehab with them, getting patients into some therapy beforehand, or at least just increasing their activity beforehand. Some patients can't do that because of insurance issues and stuff like that. How would you counsel patients to prehab if they can't work with a physical therapist beforehand?
Boy, great question. I mean, that statement, that concept about physical activity hit me to the heart. It's like, we're not moving the dial. We're not bringing health to our people. We need to do this better. Prehab, I believe some people get in a holding pattern and think I can't do anything. I need to protect this. Stiffness is one thing I really focus in on. Anything you do before in terms of stiffness is going to pay off afterwards. And the quad, just simple engaging the quad, engaging that muscle just to get it firing will help you prepare for the surgery and help you do better afterwards.
Yeah, the two things that I've noticed a big difference on the patients is when we have some prehab with PT, the ones that do the best as a result of it are those who have better range of motion, because that's a big predictor of what their post-op range of motion will be. And then their quad firing. If their quad firing are better, I think they do better initially the first 2 weeks. They don't have that, quad fatiguing or inability to use it as they need to protect themselves in that early post-operative process.
Yeah.
The thing that I really walked away with really is managing that first swelling. So as a surgeon, there's a balance for me that I found of pushing patients to get mobility, but also making sure that we're managing that initial swelling, because that's kind of the tea leaves, so to speak. Whatever their first few weeks are, first 2-3 weeks are, from a swelling standpoint, really creates this long-term effect. Other than managing activity, what other modalities or at-home remedies do you recommend to help manage swelling for your patients?
Yeah, that's something I've really dialed into. You're very correct in that 2 to 3 week really sets the stage and where they can go from there. Simple elevation, and you mentioned in your talk, but I think simple elevation 2 or 3 times a day, if not more, matters. And what that actually is, I have patients all the time that will put their knees on kind of a bolster, and I'm like, no, that's not elevation. Let's find ways to be able to do it properly. The other one is compression. Compression helps a lot, and I have patients that will come in that just are having troubles with it, and that the swelling's going all the way down the leg, and just simple compression just helps, not allowing that swelling to settle in there, the tissue to get stretched out, and then it just settles in there and has a hard time coming out. So,
one of the questions I get as a last question for you, one of the questions I commonly get is, hey doc, should I do ice or heat after the joint replacement? And I would love a physical therapist standpoint. What's the timeline from ice to heat? When do you recommend, and where do you recommend putting them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're in the acute stage ice, but as you go along, I lean in a little bit more in the heat. It helps you get moving. Let's do heat. It can help with the pain. If you've had a really busy day, you probably do have a little bit of inflammation process. Let's put some ice on it. And so ice I see as a recovery, heat as a pain and or get moving practice. And so I don't have rigid after this time period don't ice, but I see it more as a recovery.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the total joint process is amazing. That we saw from the study that there's a lot of successes, satisfaction, pain relief, but there's so much more that we're working on, especially as we tailor them. So we appreciate working with good therapists like you and with Dry Creek to help our patients get where they need to be again.
Well, same for you. The joints we see are incredible. So you're doing awesome work, and appreciate to be able to work with you and collaborate. This is amazing to be able to have these discussions and find best paths forward.